How do I captivate effortlessly with my graceful presence? Why do I naturally exude a sense of fluidity? How do I attract attention? How is it that my calm demeanor draws people in? Why do I naturally exude charm and charisma? Why do things come to me so easily? Why do exquisite experiences gravitate towards me? What sort of magic unfolds when I tap into my seductive charm and confidence? How do I make every moment feel like a special occasion? How do I embrace my sensuality with confidence? How do I embrace the advantageous nature of my feminine energy? How do I express my unique style in a way that reflects my refined taste? How do I open myself up to the richness that life has to offer? How do I radiate confidence and success the moment I enter a room? Why is it that my energy transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary experiences? How am I able to evoke a sense of wonder and intrigue in my interactions? Why does my voice embody warmth and intimacy, inviting others into my world? What does it feel like to embrace my femininity and let it guide my interactions? Why do I naturally exude a sense of fluidity? How do I advocate for myself? Why am I a captivating storyteller? How am I able to evoke a sense of wonder? Why do I take such a pride on who I am and what I represent? In what ways do I express my love? How do I project intrigue without needing to speak a word? Why do I consistently evolve and refine my presence? How do I maintain my inner peace, my self-respect in every decision? How do I factor in self-respect in every decision I make? How do I carry myself with such magnetic energy that others are drawn to my aura? How do I carry myself with such magnetic energy that others are drawn to my aura? How am I able to create a lasting impression with my subtle yet powerful energy? Why do I radiate sensuality with every movement I make? How does my life reflect the deep affection I hold for myself? How do my consistent actions reflect my true character and value? How do I channel my energy into positive endeavors? How do I express my appreciation for beauty? How does my passion for life create a magnetic pull for novel experiences? How do I continuously develop and refine my emotional intelligence? How do I express my appreciation for beauty? How do my privileges allow me to experience life in extraordinary ways? What opportunities do I have to give back and show appreciation for what I've been given? Why do things always play out in my favor? How do I communicate assertively while staying approachable? Why do I find it easy to convey my messages clearly without diluting them with fluff? How do I set the tone with my body language and eye contact? How do I invite curiosity in others through my subtle and intriguing presence? How do my privileges allow me to experience life in extraordinary ways? How do I honor my energy? How do I inspire trust and respect through my demeanor? How can I challenge conventional norms and create my own definition of freedom? How do I use my presence to establish boundaries? How do I cultivate a powerful tone without raising my voice? Why do I walk into a room with such confidence? How is it that my words resonate so deeply? How are others mesmerized by my voice? How am I attentive to my needs and wants? Why do I feel so comfortable embracing my inner power and femininity? Why do I walk into a room with such confidence? Why do I attract individuals who honor and value my time and energy? How do I attract exciting opportunities and invitations with ease? Why do people naturally want me to be part of their gathering and celebrations? How do I stay receptive to all the good and love that surrounds me? How do I navigate every room I enter with elegance? How do I communicate my desires clearly? How do I express my true nature without holding back? Why do I feel so comfortable embracing my inner power and femininity? How do I maintain my composure? What helps me remain confident and secure in who I am without seeking external validation? What helps me remain confident and secure in who I am without seeking external validation? Why do others go out of their way to appreciate and prioritize me? Why do I move through life with an awareness of my worth? Why do I set a high standards for my time? Why do the choices and investments I make today pay me dividends for years to come? Why do the choices and investments I make today pay me dividends for years to come? Why do I feel secure in who I am? And how do I know exactly what makes me different? Why do I feel secure in who I am? And how do I exactly know what makes me different? What makes it so easy for me to articulate my ideas? Why is my voice so strong, clear, and respected by others? How do I know that I deserve abundance and success? And why is there no shame in pursuing what lights my soul on fire? Why do I create the life I desire with passion and intention? How do I embody a unique energy that makes me a priority on guest lists? What makes it so easy for me to articulate my thoughts? What empowers me to set the standard for how I deserve to be treated? How do I know what I deserve? The abundance and success? And why is there no shame in pursuing what lights my soul on fire? How am I so tuned to my natural feminine power and allure? How do I move with an effortless flow that draws in admiration? Why is my voice strong, clear, and respected by others? How do I carry the essence of luxury and refinement in all that I do? How does my silence speak as powerfully as my words? How does my silence speak as powerfully as my words? How am I consistently admired for the way I own my space and energy? Why am I so alluring and mysterious? How do I attract experiences and relationships that reflect my value and worth? How do I attract people who make me feel welcome and cared for? How am I consistently admired for the way I own my space and energy? Why am I met with such consideration and effort from those around me? Why am I met with such consideration and effort? Why do others find my peaceful, confident energy comforting? How do I nurture my inner and outer beauty? Why do my words have the power to captivate? How do I keep my inner light shining so brightly? Why do others find my peaceful, confident energy comforting? How do I keep my inner light shining so brightly?